Hello everyone and welcome to the monthly FCFT. I'm David Johnson and I'll be taking you along this exciting journey of working with Chroma Key. Now, Chroma Key can certainly do a lot. One can place themselves in a presentation to point out key topics. One can even create a news segment placing themselves in a digital newsroom. Or one could put themselves into a location that may not be accessible, such as a beach or even the moon. The options are limitless and the creativity is up to you. But why don't we get started, and I will first show you what I'm going to do today. So here is a video of myself standing inside of a red room. What I am talking about? Nothing, but none is the wiser. So how did I get myself inside this room? Chroma Key. So let's open a new sequence and show you how to get started. First, drag the video clip you want to work with down into your timeline, but make sure to place it on the second track, as the first track is going to contain your background. Second, we need to get the Chroma Key Effect, and it can be found under the Effects tab, Video Filters, Key, and Chroma Key. Simply drag this effect down onto your video in the timeline. Right away, you can see that the background may have been edited out. That is because this effect automatically sets itself up for green. However, most likely it's not perfect, and we can see the green lines around our subject. So let's fine-tune it a little bit. Double-click on your video track in the timeline, and this will bring it up into the viewer. At the top of the viewer, we'll notice a new tab was added called Chroma Key. Let's open this tab. Now this rainbow of colors is the selection of what's going to be keyed. It can be adjusted manually by dragging the two sloped lines, or even dragging the transition of colors left or right. You can narrow down the selection to be very specific using these top bars, or broaden it to select a greater range. Now the bottom angle helps to compensate for fall-off colors. For us, let's open the color up quite a bit, as I'm wearing dark brown, which is far enough away on the color scale. The next option is SAT. Now this stands for saturation. This is adjusted for the color's brightness. For instance, if it was a pale green or a pastel green, the selection would be towards the left. Bright greens will select the colors on the right. For me, I'm going to select a big range towards the right, as I have a bright green background. The Luma Slider determines the brightness of the color. A color with lots of white will be towards the right. A color with lots of blacks will be towards the left. Dark green is an example of one such color that would be on the left. Now this really helps to narrow down the colors if you happen to have more greens involved and more colors that are closer on the scale. Again, because of my outfit, it's pretty different. So I can leave it wide open, but maybe adjust it a little bit to the right, as the background's pretty bright. Now you can tweak these settings for your specific project to find out what works best for you. When I think that's looking better, I can get rid of some of the extra green around myself with the edge thinning bar. By increasing that up a little bit, it will cut down around myself. Make sure to carefully scrub through your footage though, and make sure you still look natural. Too much edge thinning can cut in too much and begin to make you look deformed. Now, really focus on my shoulders and body. If it looks pixelated, use the softening bar to round it out. I'm going to increase my softening just a little bit because it looks a bit harsh. Lastly, enhance. If you raise this bar up all the way, you can see a large sum of purple begin to radiate off myself. This is because purple is a great neutralizer of green. So having a little bit of enhance can help get rid of some of that extra pesky green and make it look more natural. So now this seems to be to my liking, so it's time to bring in the background and test it out. Go back to your assets and select the background. Drag it down under your chroma keyed footage. Now right away we can see it took place of the green. I'm going to do some fine tuning by scrubbing through the footage and making sure everything looks correct. I'm also going to modify this background a little bit, and because it's 4:3, stretch it out. Now you may need to alter some settings. For me, it looks like my fingers may need a bit of adjusting, so I'm going to adjust the color out just a little bit more. Well, this is something you can experiment and grow from, because after all, practice does make perfect. So thank you very much for joining me on this month's FCFT, and I can't wait to come back with another next month.